And a very pleasant good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Klamath Falls Falcons Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. The Klamath Falls Falcons traveling to the last frontier, the 49th state of Alaska, here at Bumpus Field in Wasilla for the first of a week-long stay in this great state. Josh Eldridge here, glad to be with you as the Klamath Falls Falcons open play at the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament against the Palmer Pioneers. Palmer's already 2 games into this tournament. They are 1-1 in this tournament after picking up a loss earlier today against Madisonville and a win last night against the host Wasilla. They are the first to try the Klamath Falls Falcons here in Alaska. The Falcons enter 11-2 overall. They were winners their last time out in Roseburg back on Sunday, but a totally new set of circumstances today against the Palmer Pioneers here in Wasilla, Alaska. Team's about ready to take the field, so we're going to step aside for a quick break. When we come back, it's time for starting lineups and first pitches right around the corner on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Well, Josh Eldridge here, glad to be back with you live from Wasilla, Alaska. The first of what will wind up being a week-long stay for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Their first opponent, the Palmer Pioneers, 3-6 overall in the season, 1-1 in this tournament. A 4-1 win last night against the host and a 10-8 loss earlier today against the other out-of-state team, Madisonville from Kentucky. They are 1-1. Falcons set to get going here in just a minute. They'll be the visitors. Of course, we are on about an hour rain delay, but for those of you watching on mybasin.com, you look around and say, when was it raining? It was raining pretty hard for about an hour and 15 minutes before we got set for first pitch, but the guys from Wasilla did a great job. Their whole team was out here to tarp the field, get new dirt out on the field, so Coach Ott and his boys did a great job making sure that we could get these games in today. They are no stranger to rain here in Wasilla. The tournament championship game was rained out a season ago, but was talking to the guys around here. They were saying, yeah, it was dumping rain. This was nothing. We just had to wait it out. And so we waited it out about an hour, and we're just about ready for first pitch as the leadoff hitter for the Klamath Falls Falcons, Max Price, gets ready to step in. The rest of the lineup for the Falcons goes like this. Batting second, Connor Shively starts at shortstop. Jacoby Tacchini is the catcher hitting third. Colin Tacchini, the second baseman, bats second. P.J. Safford at third base bats fifth. The designated hitter Ian Meyer batting sixth, followed by Corbin Hamilton at first. Carson Sims is in right batting eighth, and Ryan Douglas rounds out the order for the Falcons. He bats ninth. Hudson Broder is on the mound, the right-hander for Wasilla. We'll take a statistical outlook at him in just a moment as we are just about ready for first pitch here in Alaska. Broder delivers an up-and-in fastball, and Price gets ahead. 5:15, right on time for the rain-delayed post start. Again, we were supposed to start at 4 o'clock, but got pushed an hour 15 for the rain. But we are underway and don't see rain becoming an issue at all for the rest of the ball game. As Price takes a pitch below the knees there, he is ahead 2-0. Like I said, Hudson Broder on the mound for the guys from Palmer. Broder making his first start of the summer. His only other appearance came in relief. He pitched 2 innings, gave up 1 hit and an unearned run, so still a goose egg in the ERA column as Max Price takes the 2-0 pitch down the left field line and through in for a leadoff single for the Klamath Falls Falcons. He's done that now for 3 consecutive games, a leadoff single to start the ball game. Price aboard at first, and this will bring up Connor Shively. Now, Shively has been on an absolute heater this season, too, for the Falcons. Coming into play, Shively is leading the team in hitting .636. And here he sends a ground ball to first. First baseman Otto had a little bit of trouble with it, so he won't be able to turn 2. Price advances to second. Shively out on the 3 unassisted putout, but you advance the runner into scoring position for Jacoby Tacchini for the Klamath Falls Falcons from Henley High School, wrapping up his freshman season. Is having a great summer so far. Tacchini is batting .308 for the Klamath Falls Falcons so far, has got 12 hits this summer and 8 singles. Here he sends a ground ball over to short. It is through the legs of the shortstop Cook and into left field. Now Cook was able to recover, so Price is stuck at third. Tacchini reaching on the error, and that will put runners at the corners with 1 out for Colin Tacchini. Colin Tacchini getting ready to step in now, the right-handed batter from Lakeview, as we got a brief conference on the mound between the pitcher and the catcher. Falcons entering play today on a 7-game win streak. Their most recent win, again, 13-0 against Roseburg. That came back on June 22nd, but flash you back to June 21st. Colin Tacchini in a 15-2 win against South Medford set what is still the single season high this year for RBI in a single game. 7 runs batted in, 4 for 5 with a home run against South Medford back on the 21st. Here's the pitch to Colin, misses outside. The count is 1-0. Now, of course, that record was matched last time out by Connor Shively. Wasn't able to make that notice. He was over within 1 pitch, but Shively and Tacchini both had 7 RBIs in the last 3 games, or over the span of the last 3 games in the 7-game winning streak for the Falcons. Move over to first, and in running for Jacoby is Chase Barrett. Barrett aboard there over at first. The count still 1-0 to Colin Tacchini. PJ Safford is on deck, and we'll introduce you to the starting defense for Palmer here in just a moment. Hit in the air, deep center field. Over is Craner. Tagging from third and going to score is Max Price. The throw in is a good one from center field, but it's not going to beat Price. Klamath Falls Falcons on the board, and they lead 1-0 in the top of the first. There are 2 outs in the inning with the runner on first and an RBI for Colin Tacchini. Keeps on adding to that. Tacchini now with his 18th RBI of the season. So P.J. Safford getting ready to step in now for the Falcons. Product of Klamath Union High School, will be a senior next season. Here's the pitch. It is a swing and a miss. Looked like a hit and run as they have Barrett on the move. The throw down took the second baseman off the bag, so Barrett in safely at second. Klamath Falls Falcons today in their red tops with Falcons written across the chest in blue and white trim. They've got white pants on despite being the visitors today. Palmer in the same uniforms they've worn all weekend so far. Blue tops with the orange letter P on their left side and gray pants with blue caps for Palmer. Their numbers on the back are in gray. Pitch to PJ misses outside. The count is 2-0 to the Falcons' third baseman. Chase Carlson is the catcher for Palmer. Down at third, you've got Timothy Bridgman. Easton Cook is at short with Sawyer Lingang at second, and Cody Otto at first. We'll introduce you to the outfield after this. Miss high to Safford. He's ahead 3-0. In left field, it's Hayden Sherman. In center field, it's Reed Craner. And in right field, it's Tristan Berry. the starting defense for the Palmer Pioneers. 60 degrees. It's warm now. It was cold and rainy just an hour ago. But, again, you wouldn't be able to tell with how nice it is right now here in Wasilla. P.J. Safford rips one down the third base line, stays fair. Strong throw across the diamond. Trying to scoop it out of the dirt is Otto, but he's unable to make the play. Now scoring is Chase Barrett after the steal was breaking for third on contact. And that's a tough play for Bridgman to make, so probably give Safford the infield single on that one. Certainly not a routine play, which means he gets the RBI as Safford is aboard at first, making it 2-0 Falcons in the top of the first inning. This will bring Ian Meyer to the plate. The right-handed hitting Henley Hornet is the designated hitter. He is hitting for Hunter Glidden, who gets the start on the mound for the Falcons. We'll see him a little bit later on, of course, when the Falcons take the field on defense. Broder checks on the runner at first, but back safely is P.J. Safford over there. Max Price began this inning with a single, and Connor Shively moved him over to second. Jacoby Tacchini reached on an error, then you had that sacrifice fly from Colin Tacchini, and the RBI single from P.J. Safford is how the Falcons have their first runs of the ball game. That pitch misses low and away, and the count is 1-0 to Ian Meyer. Before we get too much further in the game, a couple of big sponsors have come aboard for this trip specifically to Alaska. Want to recognize Heartfelt OBGYN in Klamath Falls and the Eisler Group for coming on board and supporting the Klamath Falls Falcons and supporting the broadcasts and our ability to be here in Wasilla for the next couple of days and then in Anchorage beginning on Thursday. So look at the schedule coming up. The Falcons are the last team to have played in this tournament. I'll flash you back, actually. We'll give you the full picture. Last night, 6:30 Alaska time, it was the two Alaska teams that played against each other, Palmer and Wasilla. That game was a 4-1 win for the Wasilla Road Warriors. Palmer came back this morning playing the team from Madisonville, Kentucky, a game which had, I believe, 6 lead changes in a baseball game. It was a really solid tug of war. 10-8 was the final, and Madisonville would finish off Palmer in that first game today. The second game got called early. It was due to time limit, and that rain came in. A 6-1 final saw Wasilla defeat Madisonville. So everyone is 1-1 coming into this game, except for the Falcons, who are looking for their first win. As Ian Meyer sends a fly ball to right field, Barry gets underneath it and puts that one away for the third out. But the Falcons score 2 runs on 2 hits, and they leave a runner stranded, and they'll take a 2-0 lead to the bottom of the first inning next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on video on mybasin.com. Josh Eldridge here live from Wasilla, Alaska, and back in just a minute.
To reclaim your health and your autonomy. At Heartfelt OBGYN, they focus on you. Their evidence-based approach to care means fewer office visits and a targeted treatment plan to directly address your specific needs. They believe in solutions for their patients, not the industry's profit margin. The providers at Heartfelt OBGYN are committed to serving the community and giving back to the basin. Find them at heartfeltobgyn.com. Heartfelt, because you deserve to be in control of your body and your informed choices.
At Eisler Group, they are confident that their tax and accounting professionals are experienced and trained like no one else. From individual, corporate, partnership, estate, trust, Eisler Group stands ready to help you with all of your financial, tax, and accounting needs. They have been in Klamath Falls for nearly 60 years, raising their families here and being part of the community. The Eisler Group can be found at eislerkf.com. That's ISLERKF.com. eislerkf.com.
Set for the bottom of the first inning from Bumpus Field, tucked away in the Matsu Valley of Wasilla, Alaska. Josh Eldridge here, glad to be with you. We're about an hour outside of Anchorage, up Alaska Highway 1 over here to Wasilla. It's a beautiful scenic drive from Anchorage out here to Wasilla, and been lucky enough to take it now twice, and well, we'll be heading back home sometime tonight, as I know it's 6:30 back in the basin. Only 5:30 here. There's been a lot of questions about the time difference between Alaska and Oregon, but only 1 hour, and we're 1 hour behind those of you listening back home in the Klamath Basin. All right, so we got a little bit of dirt out. The head coach of the Wasilla Road Warriors, Coach Todd, is just trying to get some dry dirt out there. Again, we were in a rain delay for a little while, so just going to be doing kind of a patch job for a little while. But let's go ahead and introduce you to the starting lineup for the Palmer Pioneers. Leading off is their shortstop, Easton Cook. Tristan Berry is in right field. He bats second. Cody Otto, the first baseman, hitting third. Reed Craner in center field hits cleanup for the Pioneers. Batting fifth is their third baseman, Timothy Bridgman. Hayden Sherman is in left field hitting sixth. Sawyer Lingang is at second base. He hits seventh, followed by Wyatt Beal, the designated hitter, batting eighth. And rounding out the order is Chase Carlson, the catcher for Palmer. All right, looks like we're about ready to see the first for Easton Cook against Hunter Glidden, who gets the nod for the Klamath Falls Falcons. The right-hander from Henley High School is making his third start of the summer. He's pitched 10 innings so far this year. A 1-0 record, 5 hits, 4 runs, just 1 earned. Good for a sub-1 ERA of .7. And he'll get ahead of Easton Cook here, 0-1. Easton Cook starting shortstop for Palmer, batting from the right side. As Glidden bounces that one to the plate, the count is even now, a ball and a strike. Earlier today in the opener of day number 2, it was Palmer who lost to Madisonville 10-8. But Easton Cook had a double and a run scored in the first inning of that game. Here he sends a line drive to center field and will get on base with a leadoff single here in this one. So this will bring up Tristan Berry for the Palmer Pioneers. Earlier today for Berry was 3 for 4, had 3 singles and 2 runs scored. Now, Palmer is probably glad they had a little bit of a break in between their first game earlier today against Madisonville and this one against Klamath Falls. I mean, playing a game in where the final is 10-8 and there's about 5 lead changes, 6 lead changes, it's got to be mentally draining. But they had that break when Wasilla played Madisonville and now come back to play the Klamath Falls Falcons. As that pitch misses below the knees in the dirt, the count 2-0 to Tristan Berry, who is followed in the order by Cody Otto. Jacoby Tacchini gets the start behind the dish for the Klamath Falls Falcons, and we will introduce you to the rest of the defense after the 2-0 pitch from Hunter Glidden. That one finds the zone in there, 2-1. Starting at third is P.J. Safford. Connor Shively at short. Colin Tacchini at second with Corbin Hamilton at first. Ryan Douglas in left. Max Price in center. And Carson Sims in right. Runner aboard at first is Easton Cook as Glidden delivers home. That pitch misses low below the knees. The count now 3 balls and a strike to the Pioneers' second leading hitter. Tristan Berry bats .375 coming into this contest against the Klamath Falls Falcons. Glidden set again with the 3-1, delivers the pitch outside corner on the fastball, and finds the zone. The count is full now, 3-2. About 60 degrees right now, again sunny here in Wasilla. The pitch home is a ground ball back up towards the middle. Shively is going to toss it on to second for one. Tacchini trying to go to the back end, and they got it. 6-4-3 on the double play. Nice pick out of the dirt by Corbin Hamilton as well. And now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. It'll be Cody Otto to bat with the bases empty. Cody Otto batting from the left side for Palmer. Earlier today, he was 1 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. His one single came in the first inning. He was left stranded in that inning. So looking to right the ship a little bit today against Hunter Glidden, who tries to drop in a breaking ball, just misses off the outside. The count is 1-0 to Otto. If he finds a way to get on base and extend this inning, it'll be Reed Craner who's on deck. Here's the pitch from Glidden. Foul ball back into the glove of Tacchini. The count, a ball and a strike to the first baseman for Palmer. Cody Otto, a junior to be in Palmer. He sends a line drive to center field and a 2-out base knock for Palmer. Gets Cody Otto aboard at first and will bring up Reed Craner. Craner hit leadoff in the opener today against Madisonville and was 1 for 5 in that effort. His one base hit, though, did garner him an RBI. It was a single in the 5th inning. Here's the first pitch from Glidden. Drops in the curveball knee-high over the middle of the plate. The count is 0-1 to Reed Craner. Timothy Bridgman is on deck for the Pioneers if the inning continues. Glidden takes a look at the runner at first before coming set and delivers the pitch. That skips away from Tacchini and rolls to the backstop, and Otto will advance to second. Not much Jacoby could do about that one. Kind of skipped out in front of the plate, and with how not entirely dry it has been, I don't want to say it's wet, but it's not entirely dry. You don't really know where the ball is going to bounce or what it's going to do when it hits you out there, so that's going to be a wild pitch as Otto advances to second. Another big looping breaking ball. This time starts in off the plate, breaks back over the plate to the right-handed hitting Craner, and Glidden gets ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. Aggressive lead off a second for Otto. Shively goes to keep him honest as Glidden fires in a fastball just below the knees off the outside. The count is 2-2 to Craner. Look at the dimensions here. Lots of foul territory here at Bumpus Field. 324 down either line, 350 to left and right center, 390 to straightaway center as Glidden tries to go back to the well, but it's fouled off by Craner. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Craner on the season batting .240 for the Palmer Pioneers. 5 of his 6 hits have been singles so far. He's got 1 triple. He'll take the upstairs fastball from Glidden, and the count runs full now, 3-2. One more game still to go tonight for the Klamath Falls Falcons as they will play the host Wasilla after the conclusion of this game here. And before the pitch, Glidden will go ahead and step off. He wants to refocus ahead of the full count pitch with 2 outs and the runner aboard at second. Jacoby Tacchini is going to have a moment and go out and chat with him first. Again, want to recognize our sponsors that make it possible for us to be here in Wasilla this week. In Anchorage later on in the week, Heartfelt OBGYN in Klamath Falls and the Eisler Group. Appreciate those guys for those folks for stepping up and making it possible for us to be here in Alaska. Be sure to support them because they support us. Curveball, Glidden almost got Craner. Craner started his swing early, kind of held up and just kind of settled for getting a piece of it there to stay alive. Not a bad idea if you feel like you've been fooled on a 2-strike pitch to just kind of throw the end of your bat at the ball and stay alive in the at-bat. Count remains full, 3-2 as Glidden comes set. Here's the pitch. Glidden goes fastball. Here's a ball rolled to the left side of the infield. Shively backhands it. Strong throw across the diamond in time. And that will be the inning. Couple of base hits for the Pioneers in the first, but they can't get anything going. They'll leave a runner stranded as we go to the top of the second. The Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Pioneers 2-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
Getting set for the top of the second inning from Bumpus Field in Wasilla, Alaska for the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament. Been doing this every year since the year 2000 in memory, of course, of the man named Todd Ryan, who was big in the baseball community here in Wasilla for a number of years before tragically passing away very young at the age of 26 in 1991. But the tournament, which started in the year 2000, is bearing his namesake. And again, they're playing it now for the 24th season. They had no tournament during COVID, of course. And Yeah, it's a very nice tournament. A lot of very nice people here in Wasilla. Very welcoming to myself here from Klamath Falls as Corbin Hamilton takes strike one on the inside corners. We get set for the top of the second inning, a game in which the Falcons lead Palmer 2-0. It's Hamilton, Sims, and Douglas due up. That's 7, 8, 9 in the Falcons order. Pitch coming on the way from Hudson Broder. That one misses off the inside corner, trying to jam up Hamilton. Goes inside, back-to-back pitches, but the count is even now at a ball and a strike. Broder ready to go again to Hamilton. Here's the pitch. Curveball. That one doesn't curve enough. Misses upstairs. The count is 2-1. Looking at the season numbers coming into this Alaska trip for Corbin, he is batting .268 on the summer for the Falcons. And the delivery on its way from Broder. Goes off speed. Hamilton got a piece of it. Fouls it off. The count is even now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Falcons needed 2 base hits to score their 2 runs in the first inning. They were helped out by 1 error from Palmer and a sacrifice fly from Takini. Scored the first run of the ball game, and an RBI single from P.J. Safford followed it up with another run batted in. Here Hamilton takes a curveball, pops it up the opposite way in foul territory, and running out of room is the catcher Carlson. And so the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Not sure of our home plate umpire's name today. This is the second game I've seen him work behind the dish. He's going to give you a little bit off the outside of the plate to the right-handed hitters, but he's consistent with the zone, so just something to keep a lookout for as the game moves on today. But right now the count 2 balls and 2 strikes to Corbin Hamilton. Broder from the windup delivers. That one misses. The curveball drifted away from the righty. The count is full now, 3-2. Hamilton and Carson Sims on deck for Klamath Falls. Broder gets the sign from Carlson, who gives the target. That pitch misses upstairs, and Hamilton aboard with a leadoff walk in the second inning. So Sims batting now with nobody out and a runner aboard at first. Sims has been swinging the bat well as of late. Second on the team in hitting at .556 through 36 at-bats this summer. He's got 20 hits. He leads the team in extra base hits with 7 doubles and a triple so far this season. Next guy would be Max Price with 6 doubles as well. Sims has just been seeing the ball so well lately. Also, third on the team in runs scored with 15. I'll take you back to June 21st, the second of a doubleheader against South Medford. The Falcons won 12-4. Sims was 4 for 4 with a double and 2 RBI in that game. He was also 5 for 6 in a game earlier this year. He's just been racking up those multiple hit games for the Falcons. As Broder comes together, ready to deliver the pitch to Sims. Here it comes. Curveball misses high and in. Sims ducks out of the way of it, and stealing second is Corbin Hamilton. That got behind the catcher. I don't think Carlson knew quite where it landed, but let's see. We got timeout. Are they going to call that a foul ball? Let's see. They're going to say that it hit Sims' bat potentially as he ducked out of the way of it. The umpires are discussing this. It'll give us an opportunity to recognize a couple more of our sponsors here on MyBasin.com. Big shout out to Gino's Cafe on East Main Street, serving up their famous breakfast burritos every morning at 6:30. Now, those are served all day long, along with their other menu items like burgers and monthly specials and Italian favorites. You can order online. ilovegenos.com, or you can place your order on DoorDash. So it looks like they're going to say that there was no foul ball on the play. So I think there was no foul ball from Sims, which allows Hamilton to be safely at second, is what the original call was, I thought. The home plate umpire says, nope, you have to go back, before the base umpire came back and said, nope, you actually got it right the first time. It's a stolen base, and there is no foul ball. we'll see what the count is. I've lost track of that myself. See if our umpire gives us what the count is. All right. 1-1. Oh, pardon me, 2-1. And Sims readies for the pitch from Broder. It's a curveball, misses in. And the count now 3-1 to Sims. Will be followed by Ryan Douglas in the Falcons' order. Falcons will play the next, I guess including this one, the next 3 games here in Wasilla, playing Palmer today, then they'll play Wasilla later on tonight, and then they'll play Madisonville coming up tomorrow afternoon before the title game. So that pitch missed outside. Now it must be 3-1 to Sims. I couldn't quite make out what the count was. Apologies there. So the count 3-1. Advancing on the wild pitch there was Corbin Hamilton. And so he is at third. The Falcons knocking on the door of adding another run here in the top of the second inning. Broder now working from the windup, delivers the pitch to Sims, who rolls it foul. The count is full. 3-2. Sims, like I said, 20 hits, 7 RBI on the season. Hasn't had a ton of RBI opportunities. He's been more tasked with getting these rallies started for the Falcons, but a golden opportunity here in Game 1 here in Wasilla. Pitch on the way to Sims is going to be looked at for ball 4. Just missed outside, and Sims will take a walk, and that puts runners at the corners now for Ryan Douglas. Douglas this season batting an even .400 for the Klamath Falls Falcons. As a team, the Falcons hit .400. Now for Wasilla, they are down right around .250 as a team batting average. So the Falcons offense expected to do their thing, as it were, today. I mean, they've scored in double digits more often than not this season. Here's the pitch. Runner is on the move, and they are going to cut the throw off to the pitcher, but Sims will advance safely into scoring position. And now there are 2 in scoring position with nobody out for Ryan Douglas. Now, taking a look at the season for Douglas RBI-wise, he also has 7 runs batted in. Not a guy who's had a ton of opportunities, more with the starting the rally than finishing it, but here he pops one foul, the count 0-1 to Douglas. Looking around our league, we got word that the Central Point Comets won their tournament in Fairbanks earlier in the day. I believe I can have the final score pulled up for you here in just a moment. But that's the only event that they are playing in over there is in Fairbanks. They won that game 6-2. As that will set down Douglas, looking on the breaking ball for the first out in the second inning. Back to the top of the order now for the Falcons, it's Max Price. Price is 1 for 1 in the ball game with a run scored. He singled to lead off the ball game. Still hitting now with 2 men in scoring position. And the delivery from Broder goes 2-seam fastball high. It misses, and the count is 1-0. Other games going on in the league for the Klamath Falls Falcons. It looks like it looks like Grants Pass is taking on North Coos tonight. Grants Pass is trailing North Coos right now 8-3. As Price lays down a bunt down the first base side. The pitcher is up with that underhand toss to first, and they get Price, but a perfectly placed sacrifice bunt scores Corbin Hamilton, and the Falcons lead 3-0. Also advancing to third on the sacrifice was Carson Sims. Give Price the RBI, and in steps Connor Shively. Shively 0 for 1 in the contest, grounded out in the first inning, but an RBI opportunity here for the left-handed hitting shortstop for the Falcons. Pitch on its way, misses wide, and the count is 1-0. Looks also like North Jackson, the Royals, in our league, is taking on South Medford right now. The North Jackson Royals leading South Medford 7-4. We'll keep you updated on some of those other games going on around our league back in Oregon. Pitch on the way to Shively is a slow roller to third. Charging is Bridgman. The throw to first is in time, and a great stretch by Cody Otto to get Shively. He did a full split to make sure they got Shively. So the Falcons will have to settle for a single run in the top of the second. They score it without any base hits required, and they leave a runner stranded. As we go to the bottom of the second, it's 3-0, and the Falcons lead on 104.3 and 960 Sports, and live video on mybasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Back in the bottom of the second inning, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Palmer Pioneers 3-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. Leading off this half inning for the Pioneers from Palmer, Alaska, it's Timothy Bridgman, Hayden Sherman, and Sawyer Lingang. That's 5, 6, and 7 in the Palmer order. Still going to work against Hunter Glidden, who got through the first inning unscathed. Gave up a couple of base hits, but defense playing well behind him with a double play and allowing the Falcons to continue to hold this 3-run lead. As the first pitch is swung on and missed, the count is 0-1 to Bridgman. Palmer is 3-6 on the season, coming into play today 1-1 here in the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament. Curveball from Glidden rolled over to short. Shively charging, makes the off-balance throw in time to Hamilton, and that'll be the first out in the second inning. Like I said, Palmer 6-3 overall on the year as Hayden Sherman gets ready to step in. They're 1-1 in this tournament. Their wins started the season. Their first win was a huge offensive output, 37-1 against Bartlett, that then lost to the Diamond Lynx 8-6. They split a league doubleheader against Wasilla. That was back on June 15th, a Sunday in which they lost the opener 7-6, but rallied to win the nightcap 5-4. Pitch on the way, and it is rolled down the third base line foul. The count, I believe, is 1-1 to Hayden Sherman with one out in the bottom of the second inning. Then came back and lost a doubleheader to Chugiak Legion Post 33, 1-0 and 11-4. Glidden tries to go breaking ball there, but misses. That's when they began the tournament here on Monday, beating Wasilla for the second time this season and then losing to Madisonville earlier today, 10-8. The pitch from Glidden is a fly ball, line drive left field, and a one-out base knock for Hayden Sherman. Gets a runner on base for the Pioneers in the bottom of the second inning. This will bring up Sawyer Lingang for the Palmer Pioneers. Well, all to say, they've been the only team to beat Wasilla so far this year. As you could just take a quick look over at the Road Warriors, they're 7-2, and their only losses, of course, are to Palmer. Even the team that beat Palmer earlier today, Madisonville, wound up losing to Wasilla 6-1 earlier in this tournament. Runner on the move, the throw down from Takini is not going to be there, and stealing second is Hayden Sherman. After that strike called at the plate, the count will be 0-1 to Sawyer Lingang, but now Palmer has a runner in scoring position with one out. Lingang was huge for Palmer. Despite the loss earlier today, he finished 3 for 3 with 4 RBI. As that one is going to rattle off the glove of Takini as the pitch wound up behind Lingang, allowing Sherman to advance to third. And so the count will be a ball and a strike now with the runner 90 feet away from scoring in the person of Hayden Sherman, who reached a moment ago on the single. Now, Lingang doubled in the second inning of that game earlier today. He didn't collect his first RBI until a 2 RBI single in the third. as a pitch in the dirt is taken by Lingang. The count 2 balls and a strike now to the second baseman for Palmer. Then another 2 RBI single in the 5th. By the way, both of those came with 2 outs in the inning. He's been able to keep pressure at bay. Here's the pitch to Lingang. He sends a line drive past Safford and into left field and add another RBI for his day. It's been a good day for him as he is now 1 for 1 with an RBI, and Palmer is on the board. 3-1 the score. Falcons still lead, and in steps Wyatt Beal. Beal in the opener today was 1 for 2, had a single in the 5th inning, but last night against Wasilla came up with probably the biggest hit of the night, which allowed Palmer to get on the board first late in that game. And again, they would hang on and defeat Wasilla in the opener of the tournament 4-1. Here, the pitch is taken below the knees, 1-0 to Wyatt Beal, the designated hitter, hitting, of course, for the pitcher, which is Hudson Broder. That one is rolled foul. I think it might have caught Beal off the front foot. He's got one of those Evo Shield ankle guards, though, so as long as that thing did its job, I'm sure he'll be okay. The count will be a ball and a strike to Beal whenever he feels about ready to step back into that batter's box. Beal just wrapping up his freshman campaign here in Wasilla. He'll be class of 2028. Just like both Hunter Glidden and Jacoby Takini, a battery for the Falcons. That pitch nearly came in and hit Beal, but he'll take it off the hands just a bit. The count 2 balls and a strike, the designated hitter for Palmer. Glidden comes set without really checking on the runner Lingang at first. Here's the delivery. Downstairs fastball misses. 3-1. Glidden falls behind Beal here. Looking at Beal on the season, batting .240. His first double of the season came earlier today. Otherwise, he's got 5 singles on the season, 2 RBI, and 3 runs scored. Glidden delivers the pitch. That one misses and will be a walk, advancing Lingang to second, and Beal aboard at first. First walk surrendered by Glidden this game, and it will bring up Chase Carlson. Carlson did not get an at-bat in the opener today against Madisonville, but you can take a look at him on the season and see that he is still looking for his first base hit. He is 0 for his first 11 this summer. He's showing bunt and tries to lay it down, but comes up empty. The count is 0-1. Now, despite that, Carlson, even though he doesn't have a base hit, does have 3 RBI on the season. 2 of them came on June 12th. No sacrifices on him for him this year. I'm just curious how he wound up getting those. He did walk, but you don't get 2 RBIs from a single walk. Maybe guys coming in, scoring on pass balls, things of that nature would be my only guess. But Carlson's still looking for his first hit, and he falls behind 0-2 in the count after Glidden produces the swing and the miss. Now Glidden comes set after he checks the runner Lingang at second and delivers home. Fastball misses high. Looked to be the 2-seamer from Glidden. Started outside. It broke back over the plate, but just missed upstairs to Chase Carlson. Top of the order due up next for Palmer. It's Easton Cook. Glidden comes set with the 1-2. Pitch is a curveball, misses low and away. Trying to go and get Carlson to chase that one, but he laid off, and so the count is even with 1 out in the bottom of the second inning of a 3-1 ball game in which the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Palmer Pioneers in their first game of the Todd Ryan Memorial in Wasilla, Alaska. Glidden paints the black on the outside with a fastball and gets Carlson looking for the second out in the second inning. And again, we go back to the top for Easton Cook. Cook 1 for 1 in the contest. He singled back in the first inning, but was rolled into a double play later on in the first frame. Now Glidden with 2 outs. Still 2 men on, but he can go right after Easton Cook here. The pitch is on its way. He goes fastball away, but it misses. The count 1-0. Easton Cook for Palmer. So you take a look at him. He is also class of 2028, a young man, but one of the better players on this Palmer team from what I've seen so far in my time here. I've been able to watch every single game of the tournament so far. Here's a ground ball to third. Safford plays it on 2 hops. He'll make the throw to first in time. And the Falcons maintain the lead here in the bottom of the second. And they do give up 1 run on 2 base hits. And 2 runners are left stranded. We'll go to the top of the third in a 3-1 ball game on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
We drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
It's the top of the third inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com. The Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Palmer Pioneers 3-1 on day 2, but game 1 for the Klamath Falls Falcons here at the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament. 1 single game was played yesterday. This is game 3 of 4 to be played today, with the Falcons closing out the nightcap against the host Wasilla Road Warriors. Due up this half for the Klamath Falls Falcons will be 3, 4, 5 in their order. Jacoby Takini, Colin Takini, and P.J. Safford. I want to give a shout-out to a fan who's been following not only the Falcons games today, but has stuck around for every game here from Wasilla, every game I've broadcast. I want to give a shout-out to the superfan Debbie. I believe it's Max Price's grandma. Thank you for tuning in all week long, Debbie. Appreciate you. Takini is going to step in. He's 0 for 1 today. He grounded into an error, reached base, and Chase Barrett, who would come in courtesy run for him, would come in and score in that first inning. So he settles in now. Still on the mound for Wasilla is Hudson Broder. And the delivery from Broder misses upstairs to Takini. The count is 1-0. And like I said, Takini 0 for 1 in this ball game on the season, hitting right around 300, 308 to be exact. Pitch on the way from Broder. It misses low and away. The count is 2-0. Wasilla, Alaska, like I said, just about an hour north of Anchorage, a little bit less, about 52 minutes was what I made my commute in today. As that pitch comes in and hits Takini, he'll be awarded first, likely with Chase Barrett to come in and run for him. A reminder that the end of this tournament for the Falcons is not the end of their trip in Alaska. They will begin play at the 529 Mid-Season Classic, which begins on Thursday. They'll play the first game of the day on Thursday at 11:45. They'll be playing South Anchorage at 11:45 on Thursday. Move over to first, but back safely at first is Chase Barrett. And then after that game, 11:45 on Thursday, they'll come back. They'll play 7:30 against Chugiak on Friday, and then they'll play at 2:15 on Saturday against Kenai. Still awaiting the first pitch to Colin Takini. Couple of checks on Chase Barrett, who did steal a base earlier in his first trip around the bases. And he takes off on the first pitch here. Swing and a miss by Colin Takini. Chase Barrett slides in safely as the throw got by the shortstop Cook. Barrett in safely at second, and now man in scoring position for Colin Takini, who bats .444 this summer with 17 RBI. That puts him, again, second on the team in that metric. Now up to 18, actually, because of the sacrifice fly with the RBI he had in his first at-bat. It's the catcher Carlson who gives the sign to the pitcher Broder, and Broder misses upstairs on that pitch. The count now 1-1 to Colin Tacchini, with P.J. Safford waiting on deck for the Falcons. Broder looks in, comes set, an aggressive lead off a second for Chase Barrett. A motion home is a swing and a miss from Tacchini. Looked to be a changeup by Broder, had Colin out in front of that pitch. So now he'll have to protect a little bit in a 1-2 count. Colin stays tall in the right-handed batter's box again, chokes up a little bit ahead of the two-strike pitch from Broder. Tacchini rolls it foul down the left side, staying alive in this at-bat. Count remains 1-2. Falcons, like I said earlier, winners of their last 7 consecutive ball games. Their last loss was against Central Point in a league game at Kiger Stadium. And those Central Point Comets claiming a tournament here in Alaska earlier today, winning the tournament in Fairbanks 6-2. The pitch to Tacchini, checks his swing as the curveball dips outside. 2-2. Those are the only 2 teams from Oregon who are here playing in the Alaska tournaments. In 2023, it was a team from Oregon to win the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament. It was the Eugene Challengers who defeated Lower Columbia that year 11-0 as Tacchini takes another upstairs pitch. The count is full, 3-2. Only one other Oregon team has ever even made the final here in Wasilla, and it was Gresham, Oregon, back in 2000, the first year of the tournament, and they actually lost that championship game 5-3. Well, the full count pitch misses high to Colin Tacchini, so working a walk there, and aboard at first as Chase Barrett remains at second. P.J. Safford will have a chance now on the infield single. Made a bit of a mistake scoring that last play that Safford had in his last at-bat. It was a single, and he did not get the RBIs. The run technically scored on the error on that play, so still 1-for-1 day for Safford, but he doesn't get the RBI. He can still pick one up here, though. Instead, he'll lay down a bunt, rolls it back out to the pitcher Broder, who takes the easy out at first, but both men advance in the meantime. 1 out, but Barrett to third, Tacchini to second, and now Ian Meyer, a RBI opportunity with 2 men in scoring position and just 1 away. Coach Teeters in the third base coaching box can be heard just saying, do your part. And I got to say, that's something that Ian does fabulously, maybe better than anyone else on the team, is just doing what his role is, and without any complaining at all. I can recall during the all-conference awards banquet barbecue situation that the Henley Hornets threw at the end of the spring season. That's exactly what the Skyline Conference Coach of the Year, Sean Teeters, said about Ian Meyer. He's just a guy who does what he can to help the team and does not complain about it when he doesn't get the most playing time. Here, Meyer sends a line drive left field. Yes, he did just do his job. A single in the gap scores 1. Colin Tacchini gets the windmill. He will score as well. And a 2 RBI single for Ian Meyer gives the Falcons a 5-1 lead. Exactly what needed to happen there for Ian Meyer. 2 runs come in to score, and that brings up Corbin Hamilton. Hamilton walked in his first at-bat, but came around to score, so I guess still looking for his first at-bat. He walked in his first plate appearance. I'll get the terminology right there. As a move over to first to try to get Meyer, winds up down the right field line. Meyer gets up. He's going to round second and head for third. He is digging. The throw to third is not in time. Meyer advances on the error all the way to third. All right, Ian Meyer in scoring position for Corbin Hamilton, who's ahead in the count, 1-0. I believe actually Hamilton has a fresh count. That might be residual from Meyer's at-bat. Apologies there. As a quick conversation between Carlson, the catcher, and his pitcher, Broder. Again, 1 out and a runner at third. Falcons have already scored 2 runs in this inning, up 5-1. Here's the pitch to Hamilton. Misses upstairs. Now the count is 1-0 to Corb, who is batting at .268 to start the summer. 9 singles, 2 extra base hits for Corbin Hamilton. He's scored 8 times this year. And the delivery on the way is hit to the left side through the infield, and a base hit for Corbin Hamilton will score Ian Meyer. Falcons lead 6-1 off the RBI single from their first baseman. For Hamilton, that is RBI number 7 on the summer for him, and it gives Carson Sims a chance, still with just 1 out in the inning. Sims walked in his first at-bat, or his first plate appearance, rather, and looking for a base hit here. Like I said, he's been seeing the ball very well. First pitch swinging. Pitch was in the dirt, and I think they're going to call obstruction on Sims. And, yeah, Sims is going to be out on obstruction there. So what happened was the catcher received the ball, tried to throw down to second, and tripped on the front foot of Sims, and they called obstruction on him. They're also going to send Hamilton back to first. So now there's 2 outs in the inning. Just kind of unfortunate. Sims, the back of his foot was just barely outside the batter's box, and that catcher tripped on him. It's obstruction, clear as day. And so now there are 2 outs in the inning. And Ryan Douglas a chance with a runner on first. Here's the pitch to Douglas. It misses outside. It's in the dirt, but a nice job by the catcher Carlson to knock it down, keep it in front of him, and not allow Hamilton to advance to second. After Douglas, the lineup card turns over for the Falcons. Max Price is due up next. And the Wasilla Road Warriors are taking batting practice. They are the Falcons' next opponent later on today. Pitch to Douglas, fouled off. The count is 1-1. The Road Warriors, they won their other game earlier today. No, pardon me. Yes, they did. They won 6-1 against Madisonville. That was in the game that ended a little bit early with 2 outs in the 6th inning. They decided, well, we're either going to end the game in the top of the 7th or we can call it with 2 outs in the 6th with all this rain coming down, and that's what they decided to do. And so a 6-1 victory is how that one ended. A swinging strike by Douglas. Taking off for second is Corbin Hamilton. This time he is in safely at second. The count will be a ball and 2 strikes to Douglas, who swung and missed at that last pitch. He's 0 for 1 today, struck out back in the 2nd inning. Now in a 2-strike count, he'll choke up a little bit, but an RBI opportunity in the top of the 3rd inning. Pitch to Douglas, misses inside. Count is even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Klamath Falls leads Palmer, Alaska, 6-1 in the top of the 3rd inning of the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament in Wasilla. Broder comes set for the 2-2. Checks the runner at second, Hamilton, and now delivers home. Hamilton is on the move, and a fly ball into the left center field gap. The center fielder dives and makes the catch. Craner, oh my goodness, saves a run, sure thing, lays completely out to steal an extra base hit from Ryan Douglas and end the inning. But not before the Falcons score 3 runs on 2 base hits, and they leave a man stranded. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd next. The Falcons lead the Pioneers 6-1 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
It's the bottom of the 3rd inning, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Palmer Pioneers 6-1. Due up this half inning against Hunter Glidden is going to be Tristan Berry. Cody Otto, and Reed Craner. That's 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup for Palmer. So here's Tristan Berry, who's 0 for 1 in the contest. He grounded into a double play in the first inning. As Glidden looks in to get the sign from Colin Takini. Takini obliges, delivers the sign, and here comes the first pitch from Glidden. It's a line drive into left field, looks playable, and the catch is made by Ryan Douglas. And that'll be the first out in the third inning. So now Cody Otto gets a chance to swing the bat for the Palmer Pioneers. Cody is 1 for 1 in the contest today. He singled in the first inning. He also singled in the first inning of the opener and then was left 1 for 5 for the rest of the game. So pitch is taken inside there, 1-0. I'm sure that Otto like to get back in the hit column and not let this one slip away from him, a little bit like that last one did earlier today. From the left side, the batter checks his swing, and he held up in time. The count is 2-0 to Cody Otto. Otto bats .296 for the Palmer Pioneers so far this summer. Delivery on the way from Glidden is again hit the opposite way into left field. That one will get down in front of Douglas. Otto going to round first, head for second, and gets about halfway there before he decides to head back. And he is now 2 for 2 on the day. After that one-out single, puts him on base. And now we'll get ready to see Reed Craner. Craner is 0 for 1 on the game. He grounded out to shortstop back in the first inning. Corners come in protecting bunt against Craner. We have seen him do that this tournament. Here electing to take a curveball that misses in the dirt. It was a nice bending breaking pitch there from Glidden to try to get Craner to chase on the first pitch of the at-bat, but Craner laying off. We'll see where Glidden goes now. Behind in the count, 1-0. Here's the pitch. It is a line drive down the third base line, fair, and into left. Rounding second, headed for third is Otto. That ball rolled all the way to the wall and will wind up being a double for Craner. Otto pulls up at third, but the Palmer Pioneers have 2 men in scoring position for Timothy Bridgman. Bridgman 0 for 1 in this contest, but on the season, he's Palmer's leading hitter, batting .423 on the season, and his 7 RBIs are tied for most on the team. 11 base hits are the most as he bats here in a big spot, 2 men in scoring position and nobody out. Here's the pitch from Glidden. He goes curveball below the knees, and that misses 1-0. On deck is Hayden Sherman for Palmer. Glidden looking in, checks on the runner at second, now looks over to third before coming set, and delivers the pitch. That one nearly came in and hit Bridgman, but he gets out of the way. The count is 2-0. Well, Glidden has given up his fair share of hits. Already 6 hits on the ball game for Palmer, but they've only been able to turn it into 1 run so far. But now again, 2 more men in scoring position as Glidden drops in a curveball knee-high middle of the plate, and the count is 2-1. That was a nice find at the bottom of the strike zone for Hunter Glidden. Former freshman comes set, now delivers. And that one will come in and hit Bridgman. Only going to get away with that inside curveball so many times before one might slip on you a little bit. And now the bases are loaded for Hayden Sherman. Now Sherman is 1 for 1 in the contest today. He singled and scored, the only run of the ball game so far for Palmer. As Glidden finds himself in a jam here in the third. It's going to be tough to work out of it. He's got a 5-run cushion. It's the middle infield ready to turn 2, and the corner's in for the Falcons. A shallow fly ball into right field. Colin Takini will make the catch on the outfield cut of the grass. And that's a good way to start with a fly ball that won't wind up scoring anybody. And F4 in the book. Everyone stays where they were. 1 out in the inning. And here's Sawyer Lingang. He's the kind of guy that is hot in these situations right now. Like I said, in the game earlier today, Lingang was 3 for 3 with 4 RBI. Even earlier in this game, he's 1 for 1 with an RBI. He's seeing the ball well with runners on base. Here's the pitch from Glidden. That one is in the zone, a fastball inside corner, just about belt high, called a strike against Lane Gang. Starting second baseman for Palmer, as he singled in the second, knocked in that run, was left stranded at second in that inning. Glidden set and delivers the 0-1 pitch. Goes curveball. Lingang fouls it off. The count 0-2. And now Glidden can go just about anywhere in an 0-2 count. Went fastball on the first pitch. Went curveball on the second pitch. And now Lingang gets ready to step back in. Glidden with the bases loaded, trying to get himself out of this jam. The 0-2 goes fastball high and away. Takini trying to backdoor the runner at first, but he's back safely. Good idea, as Bridgman was taking a very aggressive lead off of first. With the bases loaded, got to be confident you can make that throw. Takini certainly is, and almost had Bridgman down at first, but instead that pitch missed, and the count is 1-2 to the batter at the plate, Sawyer Lingang. And the delivery from Glidden misses low and away. The count now 2-0 as Glidden goes with the fastball there and just kind of yanked it in the dirt. Wyatt Beal is on deck for Palmer. Again, corners in for the Falcons. Don't be surprised the ball hit hard on the corners. They might try to go home with it. This one is popped up again, shallow right field. And there you go, out of the inning. Pardon me, that was the third out in the inning. I must have missed the scoreboard there at the first out, which was the leadoff. And that will get them out of the inning. F4 back-to-back times. Glidden works himself out of a jam and does it in a big way, leaving the bases loaded and not allowing a run to come across in the bottom of the third. We'll head to the fourth in a 6-1 ball game. The Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Palmer Pioneers. Back after this on mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Josh Eldridge back with you from Wasilla, Alaska, the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament on 104.3 and 960 Sports as we get set for the top of the fourth inning. Checking the line score for the Klamath Falls Falcons, who've scored 6 runs on 3 hits. They have committed no errors, and they have left 3 runners on base. For the Palmer Pioneers, 1 run on 6 hits. They have committed 3 errors. They have left 6 runners on base. We have got a new pitcher in the game for Palmer. It'll be number 14, Sam Meals, will come in for Hudson Broder. Just a straight across pitching swap. No other changes for Palmer. So Sam Meals, the right-hander, the new pitcher in the game for the Pioneers. I'll do my best to pull up his numbers on the season. But while that loads, we'll take a look at Max Price, Connor Shively, and Jacoby Takini, who get the inning started for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Again, they lead by 5 runs. So let's take a look at Meals on the hill, who is making his 3rd appearance of the summer. Although a small sample size, he's only pitched 1 complete inning. He's given up 1 unearned run. He has struck out 3 batters and a 0-0 ERA. But again, such a small sample size, he'll get a chance against the Klamath Falls Falcons in the top of their order as Max Price gets ready to settle in. Price is 1 for 1 today with a single and a run scored in the first inning. Also had a sacrifice fly and an RBI in the second. Here's the pitch from Meals, goes off speed outside. The count is 1-0. Went curveball that time. I'm still trying to recognize the repertoire of Sam Meals a little bit. See where he goes here. Looks like fastball as Price lifts it into foul territory behind third. And the third baseman will just run out of room as Bridgman watches that drift over the Palmer dugout. The count is even now at a ball and a strike. Again, every team except for the Falcons is 1-1 in this tournament so far. Now, of course, the reason the Falcons aren't 1-1 is because this is their first game. But everyone has pretty much beaten each other. Here's the pitch to Price so far in the ballgame. As this one is grounded to third. Up with it is Bridgman. Tough throw is not going to be there. And it actually gets by the first baseman. Price is going to advance to second on the error. E5 there, allowing Price to reach base. That'll be the fourth error for Palmer this game, as the Falcons, I think, are just speeding Palmer up a little bit here in this tournament. I was talking with their coaches, and they indicated that Klamath Falls Falcons might be playing a little bit faster than Palmer is used to. And here they are; they're still competing, only down 5 runs, but that error just looks like they're getting sped up a little bit by Klamath Falls. I mean, you go back to even the game that was 10-8 earlier in the day. It was the first game of the day that Palmer had played in. In that game, as we await the pitch to Connor Shively, it misses in the dirt. Price is taking off for third. The throw down to third is going to skip by the third baseman into left field. Price breaking for the plate. He will score. Max Price in aggressive base running for the Falcons, and they lead 7-1. As another error there makes it their 5th error of the ballgame. Price coming around, getting on base from the error, and then scoring on the error at third. Like I was saying, in the 10-8 game, it was 2 errors committed by Palmer. Again, already up to their 5th. Even in the 4-1 win the other night, as well, there's Shively lining out. He's 0 for 3. He's hit the ball good 3 times, but still 0 for 3 in the contest. And Palmer committed 4 errors in the game earlier in the tournament on Monday, but still, again, you can just tell the Falcons, just the aggressiveness on the base paths, I think has been a surprise to the Pioneers so far. So 1 away in the 4th inning is Jacoby Takini. He's going to take ball 1 upstairs, 1-0. Takini reached on an error and was hit by a pitch in the 1st and 3rd innings. And the pitch on the way to him puts a jolt into one deep to left field. It just drifts foul. Would have been extra bases for sure, but that one just going over the line there. And the count is 1-1 for Takini. Takini settles back in. Colin Takini waits on deck. As the new pitcher, Sam Meals, again, we'll give you the final line score on the guy he came in and replaced here in just a moment, and that was Broder, as Takini fouls off that pitch. Count now 0-2. Broder exits the game after 3 innings pitched. And he gave up 3 hits, 7 runs, 3 earned, 3 walks, and a strikeout. Again, these numbers unofficial at this point. We'll have a better look at the totals tonight for you on mybasin.com. We'll get recaps of the Falcons doubleheaders up with the proper line score and the official box score a little bit later on tonight. Here's a high fly ball, center field, shallow center field. Tough to get to, but Craner does run in and make the catch for the 2nd out. So this will bring up Colin Takini. Takini is without an official at-bat yet. He had a sacrifice fly and an RBI in the 1st. He then walked in the 3rd. Takini will look at a curveball. The count is 0-1. After Colin, it's P.J. Safford in the order for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Pitch on the way from Meals. Goes fastball in. That one misses in. And the count is even to Takini. Inning started with that single from Price advancing on the error and then scoring on the error as well. This one's hit out in the air, right center field, carrying. The right fielder, Barry, has to make the catch on the run, but he does so to retire the side. But the Falcons add a single run in this inning. Their lead is 7-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
And welcome you back in the bottom of the fourth inning here on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. As we continue your coverage, Hayden Poor into the game for the Klamath Falls Falcons, as he will come in relief of Hunter Glidden, who got the start today. Glidden finishes after 3 innings pitched, gave up 6 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 1 walk and a strikeout. Again, these numbers unofficial for the Falcons so far, but what we do know is that Glidden threw 59 pitches, which means he'll be eligible not tomorrow, but for day 1 in Anchorage if the Falcons so need him to be. He'll have to take 2 days rest, so he'll be available for the second day in Anchorage when the Falcons will want to use him then. But a solid start for Glidden. And Hayden Poor looking to continue the effort today against 8, 9, and 1 in the Palmer order. It'll be Wyatt Beal, Chase Carlson, and Easton Cook do up this half for Palmer. Take a look at the numbers for Hayden Poor on the season as he gets ready to deliver the first pitch to Beal. Pitch from Poor is popped up. Takini has a chance. And it'll bounce off my tent. Count 0-1. All right, so 0-1 the count to Beal. Everyone's checking on my tent, making sure everything's okay. Yeah, everything's fine. I hit the very tippy top of my tent up there and then hit a trash can off to the side. A swing and a miss on strike 2 as Poor goes with the breaking ball there and gets ahead of the designated hitter who walked in his first at-bat. As that pitch misses low, the count is 1-2. Pitch from Poor tries to loop in the breaking ball, but just misses inside. And the count now 2-2 to Beal. Again, Carlson waits on deck. Apologies for any technical issues going on right now. We'll try our best to fix that one for you before we get to the 5th inning. Ground ball over to Safford. Up with it cleanly. Throw on to first is there. 1 away in the 4th inning. And this will bring up Chase Carlson. After the 5-3 putout in the book, Carlson is 0 for 1 in the game so far as he struck out in the 2nd inning. Poor ready for the pitch to Carlson. It's going to miss upstairs. The count is 1-0. That one also fouled back. The count even now. A ball and a strike with 1 away in the bottom of the 4th inning. Game in which the Klamath Falls Falcons lead 7-1 against the Palmer Pioneers from Palmer, Alaska. From here in Wasilla, it's just, it's not too far. In fact, the highway to get here is called the Palmer-Wasilla Highway. Here's a lazy fly ball, shallow center field. Over is the shortstop, Shively, puts it away for the second out. And now we go back to the top of the order for Easton Cook, who's 1 for 2 today. Singled in the first, grounded out in the second. Cook's trying to start a 2-out rally for his team, who again is down by 6. Poor, ready. Josh Eldridge back with you from Wasilla, Alaska on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Hoping that we figured out some technical issues here as I try to just break everything down and restart it as P.J. Safford sends a ground ball to short. And that will be the first out in the 5th inning. So Safford grounds out here. Goes 6-3 in the book on that one, and it'll bring up Ian Meyer due to bat now for the Falcons, who is 1 for 2 today. His one base hit came on a 2 RBI single in the 3rd inning. That pitch will be a ball, 1-0. Again, 1 away, top of the 5th inning. The Falcons lead 7-1. Again, hopefully those technical issues are behind us, and we are ready to go as Meals fires in a breaking ball and rolls it fouled as Meyer. The count now even at a ball and a strike. After Ian Meyer, it is Corbin Hamilton who bats for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Sam Mills now into his second inning of relief as well, has been trying his best against the Falcons and was able to get out of the 4th inning, only allowing a single run. That pitch missing into Meyer. The count 2-1. And the pitch, the 2-1, is also going to miss. The count 3-1 to Meyer. I was talking about how Ian was talked about by his coaches as that kid who just does his job. And right now his job is to get on base and is in a prime position to do that here in a 3-1 count with 1 out. And he'll take ball 3. Pardon me, I must have got ahead of myself there. Now the count is 3-1 to Ian. 3-2, pardon me. Fastball, but puts a good beef behind it, but just a high fly ball into left field, right into the glove of Sherman. He hardly had to move. Corbin Hamilton set to bat on the ball game. He walked in the 2nd and singled in a run in the 3rd. That pitch is going to miss. The count is 1-0. 2 outs in the inning for Corbin against Sam Meals. Here comes the pitch. Corbin watches that one drift outside. The count is 2-0. The count is 2-0. After Corbin, it's Carson Sims, who will hope to have a chance for the Klamath Falls Falcons here in the top of the 5th inning. Pitch on the way. Hamilton sends one high in the sky center field, but Crane down in order in the top of their 5th inning, and will go to the bottom half, and they lead 7-1 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
To reclaim your health and your autonomy. At Heartfelt OBGYN, they focus on you. Their evidence-based approach to care means fewer office visits and a targeted treatment plan to directly address your specific needs. They believe in solutions for their patients, not the industry's profit margin. The providers at Heartfelt OBGYN are committed to serving the community and giving back to the basin. Find them at heartfeltobgyn.com. Heartfelt, because you deserve to be in control of your body and your informed choices.
At Eisler Group, they are confident that their tax and accounting professionals are experienced and trained like no one else. From individual, corporate, partnership, estate, trust, Eisler Group stands ready to help you with all of your financial, tax, and accounting needs. They have been in Klamath Falls for nearly 60 years, raising their families here and being part of the community. The Eisler Group can be found at eislerkf.com. That's ISLERKF.com. eislerkf.com.
Here, the Klamath Falls Falcons leading 7-1. Due up this half inning for Wasilla is going to be Tristan Berry, Cody Otto, and Reed Craner. That is 2, 3, and 4 in the order, and they'll be going up against Hayden Poor. Berry 0 for 2 in the contest, grounded into a double play in the first inning. And the first pitch to him is going to be a ball. Foul ball off the opposite way. The count is 1-1 to Tristan Berry. And starting in right field for the Pioneers. Earlier in the opener of the day, Berry was 3 for 4 at 3 singles and 2 runs scored. That time Poor misses outside. The count is 2-1. Berry, then Otto is on deck. Poor that time misses high and in. The count is 3-1 to Tristan Berry. Berry, class of 28, just wrapped up his freshman season in Palmer. As that one, a fastball two-seamer. Looked like it had a little bit of lateral movement from Poor. The count is 3-2. As Poor goes with the 3-2. That one's a fly ball opposite way into right field, and it will drop in foul territory. The count will remain 3-2. This will be the final game of the tournament for Palmer, barring a way to make it to the championship game. Although if they drop this one to the Falcons, they'll be 1-2, and, well, that basically eliminates them from the championship game tomorrow. But a leadoff single might be a way back into the game for the Pioneers, as that's how they start the bottom of their 5th inning. So this will bring up Cody Otto, who is 2 for 2 himself today, off to a good start. Hasn't scored a run yet or knocked in a run, but a couple of singles have set his team up for success. This will be the first time that he bats with anyone on base, though, as in the first inning he hit with nobody on and 2 outs. The third he hit with nobody on and 1 out. And here they got 1 on and nobody out. Here's the pitch to Otto. Inside fastball misses, and the count is 1-0. After Otto, it's Reed Craner, who's due up for the Pioneers. Here comes the pitch. It misses outside, 2-0. Otto been able to go opposite way both ends as the left-handed hitter. See, lefties tend to like to go the opposite field a lot more than the right-handed hitters do. Like Connor Shively, the Falcons' shortstop, is predominantly an opposite field hitter. Here's a ground ball down the first base line. Hamilton touches the bag for 1, throws to second. Tag applied by Shively, and the 3-6 double play. Well, they roll up Otto, and now there's 2 out and nobody on for the cleanup hitter, Reed Craner. Craner hit leadoff in the opener today against Madisonville, and in that contest he was 1 for 5 with an RBI. Here's the pitch. Curveball misses high. Runner on the is going to steal second without a throw. Now into scoring position, and the count is 1-2 to Douglas. Meals looks in, gets the sign from Carlson. And here's the pitch. Another curveball misses wide, and the count now 2-2 to Douglas. Douglas on the season has been very good in this 9-hole spot. He effectively functions as a second leadoff hitter for the Falcons when you get to the top of their order here. He takes ball 3. You take a look at the full season stats, ball 3. You take a look at the full season stats for Douglas ahead of the 3-2 pitch. Ryan batting .400 on the summer. The 3-2 popped up behind home plate, out of play foul. And the count remains full to Douglas. Sounds like a little bit of rain is coming down, just a little bit more here in Wasilla. We were in an hour, 15-minute rain delay to get this game started, and up until now there's been no rainfall. But now it's coming down just a little bit as Douglas works a walk. Sims is going to stay put at second, and now over on first is Ryan Douglas. This will bring up Max Price. Timeout called as we'll have a quick meeting on the mound for all the coaches, or the coaches for Wasilla, or for Palmer, pardon me, and it looks like we might see a pitching change at this point. Again, a little bit of rain coming down here, but nothing too serious. Looks like they're going to stay with the pitcher, Sam Meals, at this point. While we have a brief pause in the action, want to again thank our sponsors for this Alaska trip specifically. That's Heartfelt OBGYN and the Eisler Group in Klamath Falls. Both of those folks coming up big and allowing us to be here in Alaska for this trip for the Klamath Falls Falcons. It was sort of up in the air until the very last minute, until those folks got on board and supported us. So support them because they support us, the Eisler Group and Heartfelt OBGYN in Klamath Falls. So once this conference on the mound is concluded, it'll be Max Price and the rest of the top of the Falcons order with Connor Shively, Jacoby Takini, and Colin Takini due up. As everyone disperses, the rain continues to fall. Max Price will step in. Sims is aboard at second. Douglas is aboard at first. And Meals back on the rubber. He comes set, and the pitch on the way to Price. No, a move over to second is going to be almost an error. Lingang was able to get a piece of the ball and stop it from going all the way into center field. So Sims will remain at second base for now. And Meals looking in as he gets ready to deliver the first pitch to Max Price. That one misses inside. The count is 1-0. And again, after Price is Connor Shively. Max on the season batting .333. 10 of his 16 hits have been singles. The other 6 were doubles. He shows bunt here, lays it down the third base line. A perfectly placed bunt. Price is going to beat that one out too. No throw. Sims to third. Douglas to second. Price with the infield single, and the bases are loaded with nobody out in the top of the 6th. This will bring up Connor Shively, who is looking for his first base hit of the ball game. Shively's long hitting streak in jeopardy here, but Shively has hit the ball hard all 3 times. It's just been pretty much right at people. But now with the bases loaded, it would be one heck of a time to come through as he takes ball 1 outside. The count is now 1-0. After Shively, again, it's Jacoby Takini, but Shively leading the team in hitting. .636, 80 points better than the next best, which is Carson Sims, who stands over there at third. As Shively gets ahead now 2-0 after that one missed in the dirt. Here's another offering on the way to Shively. He'll take that one outside. The count is 3-0. Well, Shively, if he's able to work a walk, will be awarded with an RBI, but I know he still wants to get that base hit and keep that hitting streak up. Pitch to Shively. He'll take it inside, and that will be a walk, and it will score a run. Klamath Falls now leading 8-1 as Sims touches home. Douglas goes to third. Price advances to second. And the RBI there. 3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
To reclaim your health and your autonomy. At Heartfelt OBGYN, they focus on you. Their evidence-based approach to care means fewer office visits and a targeted treatment plan to directly address your specific needs. They believe in solutions for their patients, not the industry's profit margin. The providers at Heartfelt OBGYN are committed to serving the community and giving back to the basin. Find them at heartfeltobgyn.com. Heartfelt, because you deserve to be in control of your body and your informed choices.
At At Eisler Group, they are confident that their tax and accounting professionals are experienced and trained like no one else. From individual, corporate, partnership, estate, trust, Eisler Group stands ready to help you with all of your financial, tax, and accounting needs. They have been in Klamath Falls for nearly 60 years, raising their families here and being part of the community. The Eisler Group can be found at eislerkf.com. That's ISLERKF.com. eislerkf.com.
So a new pitcher in for Palmer will be Sawyer Lingang. We're also going to have a new second baseman as Lingang comes in from second base. It's going to be Wyatt Beal who goes out to patrol second base, which means Palmer is losing their designated hitter. But the bases will be loaded, and Jacoby Takini will have an opportunity to hit once Lingang completes his warm-up tosses out there to begin the top of the sixth inning. It'll be Jacoby Takini, Colin Takini, and P.J. Safford. The Falcons have been rolling right along here as Pioneers have not yet recorded an out. It started with a Sims single. Douglas walked. He stands at third. Then Price singled. He stands at second. Then Shively, who's aboard at first, walked in the run, which again was Sims, who scored earlier this inning. So, again, no outs yet, and already a run home for Klamath Falls in this frame, who lead 8-7. Most runs we've seen scored in a single game this tournament so far was 10. That was earlier this morning when Madisonville defeated Palmer 10-8. But again, with the Falcons only the sixth inning and already 8 runs home, they've got more guys on base. We could see a new tournament high in terms of offensive output as Jacoby Takini gets ready to step in. Rain again continuing to come down here in Wasilla, coming down pretty good now, sort of like it was when we got sent into a delay earlier today, but it's going to take a lot to send us into a delay here, I think, today. As the pitch on the way from Lingang is taken by Takini. The count is 1-0. Try to take a look at the numbers for Lingang on the season. We'll do that after the 1-0 pitch to Takini. He'll be pitching from the windup. Lingang kicks and fires. Takini pops one to the right side. It'll be out of play. And the count is 1-1. On the season, Lingang making his third appearance of the summer. No decisions yet for him. No hits, no runs. He's walked 2 and struck out 4. Again, small sample size for these guys for Palmer. But 2 innings in, he's yet to give up a run. Right now, the count 1-1 to Jacoby Takini. Lingang working out of the windup. Again, he'll take a deep breath before delivering the pitch. Curveball misses outside. The count 2 balls and a strike to the Falcons catcher. He reached on an error in the first. Chase Barrett, who runs in for him, scored a run in that inning. Same for when he was hit by a pitch in the third. But in the fourth, Takini sent a deep fly ball to center field, only for it to be caught. So he is 0 for 2 in the ball game as that one misses inside to him. The count now 3-1 to Takini. Right-handed hitter stands tall in the box, chokes up a little bit. A 3-1 count. He can afford to be picky with first base not open as that pitch is fouled off. It was an outside fastball. Takini tried to go the other way with it, but shot it foul. And the count is full. Again, bases are loaded, nobody out, so you might see a guy on first base like Shively get a real aggressive lead, but no one's going to be stealing with no outs in the inning. Again, Lingang working out of the windup with those bases loaded as he works on the full count pitch. Here it is. It is a ground ball to third by the diving glove of Bridgman into left field. That's going to score Douglas. They're waving in Price to score, and he will. Staying at second is Shively, and a 2 RBI single for Jacoby Takini makes the score 10-1 Falcons. Again, Price scored from second. Douglas scored from third. And here comes Colin Takini looking for his first base hit. But he does have an RBI back in the first inning. Chase Barrett aboard at first, running in for Takini. Shively in at second. A lot of speed out there on the base paths for Colin Tacchini. Aside from that sacrifice fly with the RBI in the first, he also walked and scored in the third and flew out to right field in the fourth. First pitch taken for a strike, and the count is 0-1 to Colin Tacchini. P.J. Safford is on deck for the Falcons as they look to put themselves into mercy rule territory with that runner out there at second being of course, Palmer, the home team, so they'll get a chance to answer in the next half inning if the Falcons can find a way to get that run home from second. As that pitch missed below the knees to Colin, the count a ball and a strike. Colin again had that 7 RBI day against South Medford with his first home run of the season. Finished 4 for 4 in that contest. Lane Gang comes set, checks the runner at second, Shively. Comes set for a while, looks at Shively now for a third time, and that's going to trigger Tacchini to call timeout at the plate. Trying to reset things a little bit as Lane Gang was really preoccupied with Shively out there at second. He's a guy you want to be preoccupied with. He leads the team in stolen bases and hasn't been caught since the summer of last year. He was a perfect 26 for 26 in the prep season. Pitch to Colin, popped up behind home plate, out of play. The count is 1-2. Keeney has been in this spot already today. That walk he worked in the third inning was via the full count. Seen a lot of pitches this at-bat, too. Tacchini ready is for the pitch from Lane Gang, but Lane Gang steps off for just a moment and now gets ready and comes set. Here's the pitch. Tacchini pops one in the sky right side and again out of play. So we'll do it again. Out of baseballs once more. Coach from Palmer comes on out, gives us a few baseballs. Got one really nice looking one and one not so great looking one. So we'll take the pearly white baseball, throw it on out to the mound. And again, a 2-strike count to Colin Tacchini with 2 men on and nobody out in a 9-run ball game. In the first of 2 today for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Lane Gang comes set. And the pitch. That's a curveball that made the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Number 4 hitter in the lineup for Klamath Falls, starting today at second base of plays, part of a couple double plays for the Falcons on the defensive end so far. Imagine we'll see him pitch 1 or maybe 2 times in our stay in Alaska. He's eligible to pitch whenever the Falcons want to use him. So whether that's tomorrow in Edisonville or the potential for a champ, they decide to save him for the teams in Anchorage, which will be Thursday through Sunday on the rest of the week. Lane Gang steps off to check on Shively before the pitch to Tacchini. Again, the count is full to Colin. There is a base open out there, but you don't want to load him up for P.J. Safford coming up next. Here's the pitch to Tacchini. It misses high. Well, they'll do just that. Bases are loaded for P.J. Safford as Shively goes to third. Chase Barrett over to second. And again, Tacchini working the walk there. That's the second walk for Colin so far in the game. Beginning of what'll be rain for a little while here in Wasilla. Looking at the weather app, looks like it's blowing in from the west over from where Palmer was. So the folks who were enjoying the game from Palmer just got rained on. Looks like it's past them and has found its way over to us here in Wasilla. Safford steps in with the bases loaded and nobody out. Here's the pitch. It misses upstairs, 1-0. Safford today is 1 for 2. He singled in the first, laid down a sacrifice bunt in the third, and grounded out in the fifth. But a great opportunity for him here to put the Falcons into mercy rule territory. Pitch on the way is going to miss upstairs. The count is 2-0. If you're curious who's due up next for Palmer, it'll be 5, 6, and 7 in their order with his Bridgman, Sherman, and Lane Gang. Rain coming down a bit heavier now here in Wasilla than even it just was a few seconds ago. Pitch to Safford, lofted foul. The count 2-1. Might have to think about putting the next game in some kind of weather delay, too. I know that they were working on putting fresh dirt on the infield and on the pitcher's mound and around home plate in between the games, games 2 and 3, which is why this one started so late. But I think they were almost close to out of fresh dirt to be putting on the infield dirt. So we'll see. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Safford. That one nearly got him. It did get him. And so Safford is awarded first. Connor Shively will score. Chase Barrett will move over to third. Colin Takini over to second. And now aboard at first after being hit by a pitch is P.J. Safford. So here comes Ian Meyer. Already with one big hit of the day. He is, alongside that single 2 RBI in the third inning, has flown out twice. Lean Gang ready to deliver the pitch to Ian Meyer, designated hitter for the Falcons. First pitch swinging, sends a deep fly ball to right field, and it is foul. The count is 0-1 to Ian, with Corbin Hamilton waiting on deck for the Falcons. Hamilton would be the 9th batter in this half inning for Klamath Falls, who's continued to build, adding 4 runs already home this inning. Back on the rubber is Lin Gang. And rain expected to probably continue for the next hour or so, I would imagine, maybe a little bit less. There's blue sky over center field, but the clouds overhead are gray and upset, and right now they're crying about it. The 0-1 misses upstairs, 1-1 to Meyer. But you can see just a little bit of blue sky way over the center field fence. And as we look that way, it is over towards the west. Again, that's where all this rain is coming from. And so once it blows over us, well, hopefully we'll get some of that blue sky overhead. As the pitch misses outside, the count is 2-1. Meyer with a big spot here again. Already came up with a huge hit earlier today when the Falcons scored 2 runs in the third inning. Scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 more in the third. Scored 1 in the fourth, and they've already added 4 more here in the sixth. Pitch on the way is a fly ball, right side foul territory. The catcher will run out of room, and the count is now 2-2. So Meyer, I have to wait once more. You can tell it's starting to get real wet out there because the white pants of the Klamath Falls Falcons starting to look a little gray. Everyone's starting to get more wet than they'd like to. But again, it's going to take a lot, I think, to send us to a delay here in Wasilla. As I was saying earlier on the broadcast, I was doing some cursory research about the fields here in Wasilla. The Bumpus Fields, was looking at their Facebook page. The 2-2 pitch to Ian Meyer is hit in the air again behind home plate, 2-2. I'm not sure if that page is run by any specific admin or if it's more or less a community page, but I saw multiple photos of a softball tournament there earlier this month, and they were still playing with literal puddles on the field. I mean, behind home plate, there were puddles. The coach in the third base coaching box had his picture standing in a puddle. So, like I said earlier, I hope we're not playing through puddles here in this game, but it has been known to happen. The count is 2-2 to Ian Meyer, with Lin Gang working out of the windup now. The pitch is a curveball that finds the zone. That one started at the eyes for Meyer, but it dropped into the zone. A nice pitch there by Lin Gang to set down Meyer for the first out in the sixth inning. After Meyer, here comes Corbin Hamilton. Hamilton is 1 for 2 today with an RBI single in the third inning. He also flew out in the fifth, walked and scored in the second inning. Bases remain loaded for the Falcons with Barrett at third, Takini at second, and Safford at first. The first pitch is in the dirt. A nice job by Carlson to block that one. The count is 1-0 to Corbin Hamilton. Another guy I expect to see either tomorrow here in Wasilla or down the line in Anchorage. Falcons will only have to play one game a day when they get to Anchorage, whereas today playing 2 and the potential for 2 more tomorrow, at least 1 against Madisonville, Kentucky. Hamilton takes strike 1. Count is even. Games tomorrow, time to be 2. They'll take on Madisonville, Kentucky with the championship game of the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament set to begin at 4 o'clock here, which would be 5 o'clock back home in the Basin. 1-1 pitch to Hamilton, a curveball, ground ball to third. Up with it is the third baseman, Bridgman. The throw on to first is not going to be there. And Hamilton safe on the infield single, give him an RBI, and the Falcons score their ever-important 11th run of the ball game. As Barrett touches home, Colin Tacchini goes to third, Safford advances to second, and give Corbin the RBI single, his second RBI single of the game. And this will bring up Carson Sims, who started this inning with a single and would come around to score. He is 1 for 2. And now with the bases loaded, an opportunity to really add a few more RBI for Sims. Stays relaxed in the right-handed batter's box. He awaits the delivery from Lingang as Sims takes the upstairs fastball. The count is 1-0. Only 1 out in the inning. And it was when Ian Meyer went down looking at strike 3. Falcons have already scored 5 runs in this inning and looking for more again with the bases loaded. Lingang out of the windup. And the pitch is swung on and missed. Sims chases the high fastball that time and evens the count 1-1. That pitch does look real good coming out of the hands, kind of the slower fastball. Lingang not bringing a lot of velocity. He's placed the pitches okay, but hasn't been bringing a lot of velocity. So that upstairs. So here is Sawyer Lingang, started the game as the second baseman, has since come into pitch as he fouls off the first pitch there. The count is 0-1 with that runner at second. Poor comes set. It was Bridgman who led off the inning with a double. Here's the offering. It's a curveball that's rolled foul. The count is 0-2 from Hayden Poor. So again, with the Falcons up 12-1, that run out there at second is not the most important thing for Poor. It's allowing the next guy to come in so you can try to end this game with a mercy rule in the 6th. Count 0-2 as Poor looks in, gets the sign from Tacchini. Set, checks the runner, no one there holding him, delivers home, elevated fastball, swung on and missed. Lingang down on strikes for the second out in the 6th inning. And just like that, the Pioneers down to their final out of this game and potentially the tournament here at the Todd Ryan Memorial in Wasilla. 2 away in the inning, runner at second. And Poor looks in against Wyatt Beal, who started the game as a designated hitter and has since come into play second base. Actually does not look like Beal. This is going to be number 13 for Palmer. Oh, it is Beal. Pardon me. Wasn't on the lineup card there, and I wrote the wrong number. Here it is, popped up to right side. Corbin Hamilton into foul territory. Near the foul line will make the catch, and that will end the ballgame. The Klamath Falls Falcons 12-1 victors in their first game of the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament here in Wasilla. We'll be back to recap it for you here in just a moment, so stick around on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Single, it bounced and bounced past.
Welcome you back on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Game 1 for the Klamath Falls Falcons is concluded here in Wasilla. It is a 12-1 final after 6 innings. For the Falcons, unofficially 12 runs on 7 hits, 1 error. And for the Palmer Pioneers, 1 run on 8 hits and 6 errors. Again, unofficial totals. We'll get you the official totals on mybasin.com a little bit later on in the evening. But Hunter Glidden with the win today, pitching 3 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. It's earned. He walked 1 and struck out 1. The losing pitcher today would be Meals, again unofficially pitching 1 inning, giving up 2 hits, 4 runs for earned, and he walked 2. Again, official numbers will be able to be seen on mybasin.com after the conclusion of the double headers today. These are just rough estimates based off of what I've been able to keep here in the rain and whatnot. Appreciate everyone sticking around for this first game as the Klamath Falls Falcons improve to 1-0 at the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament and 12-2 overall on the season. For Palmer, they fall to 3-7 overall, 1-2 in tournament play, and for all intents and purposes, they are eliminated from championship contention at the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament. Brief post-game show because we got to get ready for the second of 2 tonight, and it looks like it's going to start in about a half hour. Trying to avoid the rain in the meantime. If we start a little bit late, well, you know why. It's because it is still raining and will continue to rain in Wasilla for the next little while. But the Falcons victorious for their first game in Alaska since the year 2000. They win 12-1 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. My name is Josh Eldridge. We'll be back in just a little while, so we'll see you soon.